Thank you again for coming. It was a good opener for us. We appreciate the fans staying in bad weather, the rain. It didn't make a lot of miscues, but I think we had the ball snap. I would kind of count that on the ball snap on the PAT that gets blocked. Besides that, I thought we really handled the rain well. We threw the ball well, caught the ball. There's probably the other one that slipped out of Brian's hand, ends up right into the defensive end, turns into a pick. But besides that, I thought we threw the ball well, caught the ball, we kicked it well in the rain. It was our first chance of really doing that. I was pleased with the opener. I think we made mistakes. There's plenty of room for improvement, obviously. But we got a lot of guys in. We got a lot of guys the first time, the first real fire of playing college football. And we got some guys that are still competing for jobs. They're sitting in maybe a 2 spot. That we got them some substantial reps. So we get a chance to evaluate them. They get to develop, and it's always good when you get a big win at home and get an opportunity to play a lot of people. So we're excited about that. I think it was a success. But this week, obviously, we got a different animal. Southern Utah is a playoff team a year ago. They're a very good football team. They're very well coached. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're a very good defensive ball club. Their defensive front is probably their strength. It's hard to run on them. They don't get out of position. Offensively, they're going to spread the ball around and throw it. I think they threw it 50 times on Saturday. That's new for them, but they got a transfer quarterback from BYU, and Coach Croton's a new offensive coordinator, and they're going to commitment to throwing that football. And I thought the receiving corps did a great job of catching the ball. I thought they have a big offensive line, and like I said, the quarterback is a good player, made good decisions, throw the ball. It can be athletic and move the pocket. He can do some things with his feet as well. So it's going to be a great test for us and a great opportunity again to get back in Strawberry Stadium here in front of our fans. So we're looking forward to it. We need all the help we can from our fan support and our student body to come on out and make this a very difficult place for Southern Utah to come into. I'll open it for questions.
How did you think your offensive and defensive lines performed in that game? Considering it with a non-scholarship program,
Yep.
I think you would have a substantial edge there.
Yep.
Didn't seem to play out that way.
I thought, again, we played 13 offensive linemen. We played over 9 defensive linemen. I thought most of them, for the most part, played pretty well. There's obviously, like I said, there's plenty of room for improvement, things we didn't do. But alignment, assignment-wise, about that, there wasn't a lot of miscues as far as just mental errors and busts and things like that. Besides that, we got probably offensive line. The biggest thing, we played too high. We didn't got to get our pads down. We got to get a little more physical on that. I thought our pass protection was pretty good, but they didn't blitz very much. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure there, but they did move their front around quite a bit. So I think for the first part, but we're an experienced offensive line, so none of those things should have been a problem at all. I don't think they really were, but I really expect our offensive line and defensive line really to perform at a high level. I think we have some really good players there.
Defensively, 222 yards total offense. If you guys went back to look at the field, what did you see that really worked and was happening?
Like I said, for the most part, it was we besides a couple probably runs, we did a good job of the run defense part and staying in a gap, playing responsibility. Pass rush, I don't think we didn't create a lot of pressure just in one-on-one situations. We brought pressure, and that's how we got it on the quarterback. And we've got to get better at beating the guys on a one-on-one basis so we can rush 4 and do that. He evaded the rush several times, but a lot of that was because guy was out of place and lost contain and lost leverage on the quarterback. So on those parts of it, there's a lot of room, like I said, there's a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of things that we got to get cleaned up if we're going to compete at a higher level.
Besides being back at home, I was wondering the way the schedule set up, how it kind of incrementally is, South you're talking about difficult in Jacksonville, and obviously Tulane's coming up. Just how this sets up to test yourself at a little bit higher level.
Well, it's a great opportunity for us because I do believe Southern Utah is a playoff caliber team. They went in and played Nevada tough last week. They had their chances to win it. They got the ball on the 10-yard line, throw an interception. So they had their chances to be in that ball game and compete for it. They moved the football. Like I said, the quarterback played well, and that's always the case. Anytime you play a good quarterback, if he gets hot, he can get any team in a ball game. If you sit back and if he has time and get on rhythm and gets a hot hand and builds confidence throughout that game. So it's going to be real important for us to disguise coverages on him, to move him around, try to keep him off beat. But the biggest thing is we've got to get a pass rush. We've got to beat some one-on-ones and be able to apply some pressure to him.
Besides last week's game, did you have to go searching for old film and Crow's background, or to kind of get a feel what's coming at you?
No, not really. I mean, kind of, and know what his background is. We weren't sure what personnel groupings he was going to do it out of and things like that. And I'm sure he saved some things for us. And it's week 2 of his offense, so we're going to see some things that we didn't see. We're anticipating that there's going to be some different things, and obviously we're a different defense than what he saw. So he's a guy that is going to take advantage of, or the routes and concepts he runs is going to be dictated really by what kind of coverage you run. So we expect to see a different route concepts and things that he sees.
Bell was really good about getting rid of the ball ahead of your rush. Had a lot to do with it. Is this guy comparable in any way? The way he plays, with,
He can. I don't know if. Yeah. I mean, he like I said, they play 2 quarterbacks. They both can move. The transfer probably runs a little bit better than the other guy. He's got a little better feet. I think and he's a guy again that he can escape the pocket. But the biggest thing, anybody can escape the pocket if you don't have him leveraged right. And we got to understand that, and you got to rush the quarterback with obviously quarterback awareness of where he's at. So.
So this is going to fill up the stat sheet, but you guys were able to get Blaine Arnold out there. That's the first time he's been out on the field in like 2 years.
Yeah, it was really good. It was great for Blaine. I'm excited for him to get in there. Got a couple catches, got a couple runs to get the ball game. Played really well when he got in there. So we're excited about that. He's going to be. I mean, he is a solid, consistent football player, and he's going to be a good player for us this year. And I'm excited. He's been nagged by injuries the last 2 years, surgeries, and it's great to get him out there, healthy and fresh, and get him to perform for us.
Then you got the rotation, but I think back to your first spring game here. You had a really good spring game.
Yep.
The next thing you know is kind of, okay, man, what happened? But I know it's a rotation here, but you guys obviously got to be happy to get him back into that.
Well, yeah, we knew he had a great fall camp. I thought he had a great fall camp, and he's obviously, he can help us a lot of ways. Handing the ball, catching the ball, doing a lot of different things for us. And I think we played 10 receivers on Saturday, and that's kind of a group that we think all 10 can play, but we'll kind of take it through the first couple of weeks and find out who really separates themselves from the pack and who wants to be the guy. If not, then we'll stay on. We've got 10 receivers rotating in.
What did you see that took a big step up in this game? Watching the film and all, did anybody, really?
I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any real surprises. Not big real surprises. I mean, they're all pretty much capable. See what they're capable of doing, and then, like our ones didn't get a lot of snaps. Most of them got maybe 30 snaps in a ball game, and they were done. But one, I would say, defensively, Derek. 2 guys I would say. Derek Raymond played really well. I thought he played one of the best he's performed yet for us. And he had a couple pass breakups, but it's on a consistent basis. Technique, fundamental, doing his job, those things. And then DJ Williams, a guard, probably played his best game for us since he's been here. So that was really good to see. And if he continues to play like that, he's going to be a force this year for us, which he was last year. But he's going to have a special year if he continues to play at that level.
Along the lines of Derek, Jordan, and Michael, obviously you took them, to help you, and to see them, the impact of, a punch out, a score, Derek, several tackles. I'm sure what you envisioned those guys coming in, just how they played out on Saturday.
Yeah, they're going to be immediate. I thought they'd be immediate impacts. How much was depending on how well they came along during fall camp, which I thought they all made tremendous progress of learning the defense and knowing what to do and how we wanted it done. And so I think that I think Derek and Micah, Jordan has a big time play on that. They're all great players, and that's what you want. You don't take transfers or junior college or 4-year transfers if they're not going to make an impact in your ball club.
Coach, can you comment on the play of your secondary?
Yeah, I thought they really played well the majority of the night. And, we put them in some rough situations really because we had a scrambling quarterback, yet we locked them up in man, which means they got to cover a little bit longer when he's moving around and stuff. But I think our guys did a really good job of that. That's what they can do, though. We're talented back there. We can run. We can cover. We have a pretty talented group of guys, and we have a lot of depth at it. So it's not like they're not going to get tired of doing it. So I thought they played really well. Especially with those scrambling situations when you're in zone and the zones get expanded. If you're a man, you got to cover longer, and you start getting double cuts and things like that. And I thought, credit to them, Jacksonville. They found some ways to get some guys open and did a good job of it. And the receivers continued to work, and their quarterback was evasive and found ways to keep his eyes downfield, get the ball there. So I thought they did a good job to get whatever 19 of 50 or whatever they were. Yeah, they're going to all be fine. I think AJ, he just, I don't know, it's a bruise, contusion, or maybe hyperextended a little bit his elbow, but he's fine. I just saw him on the way up here, so he's good to go. Yep. And Jordan Barnett, he didn't play last week. Will be back this week. Yeah, he had a concussion. Yeah, he had a concussion the Sunday night, a week prior to that, and so he will be available this week, and then a couple other guys also that were out that we'll get an opportunity to get on the field.
John just called the favorite soft coach.
Huh?
They do a story on Jordan.
Yeah.
They got soft coach.
Just I know they've changed their offensive scheme and all. Is there anything that you take out of their playoff game with Sam from last year?
Defensively, you see some things. They're going to, that because we were very similar to a lot of things we do on offense with, in Sam last year, very similar. So there's some things of how they're going to try to stop us, maybe defend us, how to line up. You saw in that game also what a plan A and a plan B looked like because Sam had a lot of success on them. So you see him, reach into the bag and try to pull some things out. And I don't think defensively they're going to change much. Their head coach is a defensive guy, so I would venture to say he's got his hands all over that. And basically what you see in film, though they changed coordinators, their defense is exactly the same it looked at like last year. So, and they got experience back there. They got some guys back. They're veterans up front.
They're sort of a keep it in front of you type defense.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pressure. They have brought pressure, but I don't see that being much of our game with us either. They're basically, they're going to bend, don't break, make you put together an 8-10 play drive. Don't give up the big play. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're coached well, and they play very sound football.
How do you adjust against a 4 front as opposed to a 3? I mean, is it you see 3 all the time?
Yeah, we see 3 all the time. But there's going to be some things that we'll do a little different, but we're going to do what we do on offense. You may see a little different, more of a different run here and there, but we're going to be balanced attack, and we're going to come out there and we're going to run the football, and we're going to find different ways to run the football. And then we're going to let Brian throw the ball around the yard a little bit.
That seems to work.
Yeah.
The Southern Utah, they had a lot of big plays, just like you guys did.
Yeah, they did. They got some guys to go. They got an inside slot, number 6. It's really talented. He takes a little screen bubble pass and goes about 45 on them. And makes several guys miss and just outruns them all. He's a real talented player. 35 tailback, takes just a basic stretch play. It makes a couple guys miss and takes the ball about 50 yards. So they've got talent. They got skill guys that can make big plays. We're going to play really. I think one big thing, we're going to play really well on defense. The game's going to get extended because they're going to throw the football a bunch. So this game's going to go a while, and we're going to probably take a little more snaps than we did last week, and we got to be ready to play consistent football for 4 quarters.
You don't want to just playoffs in the second week of the season, but this is that potential to have a playoff type atmosphere.
Yeah, well, I think it's big, but I think that, that's kind of probably most of our games that you're going to see. I think, to me, that's part of being ranked where you are. You expect everybody coming in, it's their chance to make their mark, and if they can, pull it off, then, they move up in the polls, and they get noticed. So we got to expect that really that atmosphere every time we play. That we're going to play, people with, giving us their best shot, and I expect Southern Utah to come in here very emotional and excited, and I know Coach Lamb will have them ready to play, and they're going to play very well for us.
This is kind of the game, kind of game that Southeastern hasn't had a lot of, that intersectional FCS kind of thing.
Yep.
There's got to be a lot of interest in seeing how these two teams do against each other, just like Eastern and Sam and all that.
Yeah, well, this is obviously, it's our Southlands is our second matchup with the Big Sky, so it's important. I think it does have down the road. It will have implications because you say, hope to God everything goes right for us and we'll get a chance to get a playoff. But as a conference, well, it depends. Do you get two? Do you get three teams in? How you do in these interconference games can hold a lot of weight because they're going to look at the matchups and based on, I say, how strong is your conference? Well, how to do? Versus. The Big Sky or versus the Southern Conference or whatever else, and then we'll have some implications.